Masters as the first seed. And oh boy, if we get just something like that, I am excited. Game 1 was a banger, ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it. A 45-minute slump between two teams who are fighting their hardest to make it to the Amazon European Masters main event.
Man, I can't wait for this game though. Like the first game, it's so insane to say. Like you see your team lose, and then you hear the analysts praise them because yeah, we are the huge underdog here. But I'm already so proud. Like putting up that game, being so far behind on a scaling comp, coming back and losing to clutch factor of names that played in the flipping LEC. That's something as a minor ERL you look at and you're like, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. Like that's not us. That's not us. That's like SK Prime against Gameward in knockouts or something. No, it was us. So now I'm looking at Genk. I'm like, okay, just do your thing. Like they went for a composition with Lucian Nami that was already up some gold because they probably cleared the ward. And I'm just looking at Tiger and Moops and I'm putting all my faith and all my eggs in their basket because I know what they can do locally. The only really scary part is they lock it in after they already see Ahri and Lee Sin. Those two champions, if they ever go to the bot side and you're overextended, you die. So I'm a bit afraid of that.
Yeah, a small trade here in the mid lane as Royal Cannon and Cheklat will meet. Sadly for Royal Cannon, he misses his second Q, so Cheklat should be able to come out on top in this trade, but let's just see what Melonic does here. He goes in, gets the vision. Nightly not going to try and steal it, I guess, as his first strike will be cancelled, so no small goal advantage to him there. They walk back. No one dies in the early game, or level 1 at the very least, and let's keep that as a positive note. Gameward, they are one game away from doing what they were meant to do. Make it to the main event and have a good run there as well. The LFL, so strong, and just a reminder, last time around at the Amazon European Masters Spring, the LFL had 3 seeds in the semi-final. Only one got knocked out in group stage. That just shows the strength of the region, and they've only dropped 1 game so far this whole Amazon European Masters as well.
I'll do a bit better. Last time, the 4th seed of the LFL, which is now Gameward, used to be K-Corp, won the entire thing. So they're a good seed. Ooh, Tiger looking for the exchange.
Very aggressive here from the Genk bot lane as they go in for a trade that they do end up winning in terms of the damage, but the summoners, they used 2, and they didn't force anything out of Gameward, so that's something they need to be careful about, especially considering where Akabane is. He's down taking his blue buff as we speak, so he could look to make his way towards the bot lane pretty soon.
It was actually a bit too aggressive. It was good layering of the CC on Tiger there, making sure he couldn't really move. And I think Moops, he did good to put the pressure down, but I think using both your summoners there is a bit too early. Royal Canyon also in trouble against his Ahri, so a bit more of a shaky start than last time for Genk in the lanes, and that kind of spells some bad blood at the moment or some bad omens because yeah, last time Gameward, they already had a good early game without really having to dominate lane for it. And if they have enough space now to navigate these teams and to navigate these lanes, then they will probably do even better. So for Robba in the top side, we knew it was going to be no fun. You're playing Sion into a counter pick Kennen. Kennen very good in the meta right now. And that's something I want to zoom in on because Kennen is good if your player on it is really good on flanks. And we saw last game that Melonic was permanently out of vision on a flank. And I want to make sure that doesn't happen again, because if he does it on the Kennen, it will actually be scarier than on the Ahri, because then you're hitting the entire enemy team.
Sonic Wave connects Royal Cannon, has flash, will use it there, but the ward jump to follow Akabane, gets the first blood and doesn't even get taken that low by the turrets.
Oh, the tower shots!
One more shot comes in, flash, the cyclone, not the clone, it's not this. Regardless, Quatus gets the kill.
It doesn't matter. It's a kill. It's a trade. We take those. We need to stay alive in the early game, again, with this composition. But we also need Tiger and Moops to take control of the bot side. And you see that Camilius rotates to the mid lane, and now you give free time to the Nami Lucian to push in the wave, make it bounce, and then reset for better items. So in the end, it looked a bit rough for Royal Cannon. It's a very good play from Gameward, but if you look at the flashes, you trade mid flash, you trade jungle flash, and in the replay you will see that it's a good setup. You see Lee Sin moving in already now, and Chekala trying to prey on Royal Cannon. Good sidestep there, but he doesn't know where the Lee Sin is. They don't have any vision on the top side. But at the same time, if you collapse them with Gertas, you see Royal Cannon instantly playing towards Gertas, and the tower helps a hand right here, then yeah, it's still a good trade.
Yeah, and that was actually a force from Chekala as well to try and save his jungler. So an extra summoner spell that very crucial could turn out to be as the first Drake is about to spawn. So some vision will be put around it from the side of Gameward. But zooming out so far, yes, there are goal leads in the whole top side for Gameward, but the last game, Genk were almost 10k goal behind and managed to come back. So nothing disastrous yet. Is there a cutoff point though, Dino, where you think if Gameward rather gets like what 6-7k ahead, it's gonna be hard to play for Genk?
My eyes are on Tiger's Lucian. There is a huge cutoff point in regards of when this champion becomes a little bit less useful. Now, we see a lot of Lucian builds if the early game doesn't go quite their way. Now with the first strike, you also have a bit more gold. They go more of a culling-oriented build. We've seen a lot of fights in the last game where Genk actually got the drop on some players of those aren't the players in our game. Get that out of here. Of some, they actually got the drop on some players of Gameward, and if you have the culling over that, those kills will be faster. So in that regard, I do think the Lucian can still be useful, but he's not up in such a way that it's something that will solidify this early game for Genk. I want to see some kills around him, but it looks like Gameward is the one setting up the kills.
Hit by the Dredgeline, still has the clone to try and get away, and will use it. Exhaust already coming through. Flash forward though from Camilius, another wall jump, a few more autos will get it. A heal though comes through. A Cabane
nice sidestep.
Now Tiger will have to try and block the Dredgeline so he could get taken low himself. Camilius misses as he tries to find the hook around, and now he's in trouble. No flash, no way out, and a kill for Royal Cannon.
Genk just outplays Gameward there. The heal from Tiger coming in clutch, the movement speed used by Gertas for the sidestep, and even though Gameward was first on the play, first to rotate, it's Royal Cannon that can link up with his team and make sure that Gertas doesn't die here. This is dire. You don't have a flash on the Wukong, the bubble doesn't connect, the exhaust from Moops is big, but look at this now. Gertas should be dead here, but it's Tiger going in with his dash, healing Gertas, Sonic Wave missing, Moops somehow doesn't die to check a lot at all. And then Camilius, he wants to engage, but he doesn't know that the link-up already happened, that Royal Cannon is there, and Genk is playing like a team, and they are catching the aggression of Gameward.
And so far as well, Robert surviving up in the top lane. You mentioned it will be a hard matchup, and yes, he's already 500 gold behind, but he hasn't given anything up, and we all know how strong Cyan will be in the late game. With the infinite HP he's getting, he will become a brick wall that will be hard for Gameward to get through. Or you could maybe call him a big part of a fence, you could say, in terms of the blue fence, as the small fight in the bot lane comes out. Nothing too major there, as they both got.
I mean, the blue fence was just a caster meme. Oh, engage.
Yeah, that's the pain train. CC chain is beautiful as well. Robber showing why his Cyan is immaculate.
This man just blind picks into Melonic twice and gets the first kill. Yeah, he got some help from his jungle, but that's all fine. Like, he just goes in, as you say, with the pain train, finds the connection on Melonic and bursts his HP bar down. It's still a lead for Melonic. He's still farming up a coil. It's not like you make sure that topside is now winning, but look what they do with it. They rotate to the Rift Herald, and this is Genk's comfort zone. This is when they start to put on place. Look at the bot side. You have a Lucian Nami. The plate is almost down. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gertas in the coming 5 minutes rotate with that Rift Herald towards the bot lane and put that Lucian up for success.
It's a kind of magic, Danny. You can feel that something is in the air. After that first game that almost was a 10k goal lead comeback, you're allowed to dream as a Benelux fan, and I'm so happy, Dino, to be sitting here not only with you, for you being Dino, but also being the Benelux expert. I really can get to feel how much this would matter if they just managed to take a single game.
Man, I'm jealous of the LPL getting 2 seats into planes knockouts, because in the Amazon European Master Play stage as a minor ERL, you set goals, but they're small. There's like, oh, what if we do good in the group against like big teams? Oh, what if we get to knockout stages? And I'm already like, I feel like a proud dad by now of this roster. They've been telling me the entire year that we're gonna do better at EU Masters, and it wasn't hard to do better than last split, but you still need to see it happen first.
Oh, Chocolate should be there to follow up onto Guertas, and clean kick from Makabani, clean punish from Gameward, and they get themselves a kill.
That's a bit awkward. This is what I was afraid of, the Lee Sin Ahri being able to rotate out of the mid side and going to make plays on the enemy bot side, but they actually find Gertas first, and Gertas maybe a bit too aggressive in defending his jungle there, but it's a good play from Gameward. It's good execution. You can't really do anything anymore once you're in the bouncy castle, and it nets them the dragon. It also makes sure that Gertas isn't really setting up for a Rift Herald play right now, while Inex uses the tower to block the culling there, and also make sure Camilius doesn't take too much damage.
But zooming back out and taking a look at what happened beforehand, Akabane just simply walks up, Does get spotted, but Chocolate wasn't seen, so as soon as he gets kicked in, it's a very clean follow-up, good damage coming through, and even with Moops being there, it simply was not enough. Double buff goes over to Chocolate, which he can use to set up more control in the mid lane, but he's already 25 years ahead. So in the bot lane, though, Guertas is here, Inex. Takes a good amount of poke, Guertas would be here to walk up. Royal Cannon rotates down as well. It's the Herald play.
Yeah, it's just a Herald play. It's just the plays. That's what I said. This is Genk's comfort zone. Set up the plays. Very clean execution on neutral objectives once they get a lead. Sometimes it's their weakness because it's a bit too telegraphed. I mean, if I'm calling it once they're doing the Rift Herald, then Gameward should know it. But they use this as a way to get Tiger some gold. And you saw last game, even on a Zeri on a game that was unplayable, how much impact he can have. So it's not weird for them to try to go for these plays. They make it happen. They just feed him some plates. And that's good enough for Genk on the Rift Herald because that's all they need. They just want money in Tiger's back pocket.
And that's Guertas. Finds 2 here. Inex does that flash heal already used. We'll definitely have to use the flash as well. You have to feel, and there it goes. Guertas low. Still gets the kill. Camelius now being chased down. Locked up. No flash already used. That's all the summoners and all the kills going over to Genk.
I'm almost breaking down my entire setup. This is huge. They find the resetting bot lane and Gameward isn't ready for display. Look at them. They're just backing in the bush. And Guertas and Moops, no, they are not spotted on vision. Instantly go in. Guertas with the Cyclone does so much damage. Inex invests flash and they find the kill. Tiger not in position for the first kill. Doesn't matter. He will get the second and he will get first tower. And suddenly that Lucian army is online. 800 gold swing and the first mythic item already finished on the Lucian. Genk is actually again fighting in this game.
Look, Dino, after the first 2 days, the LVP lost their 3rd seed, NLC lost their 3rd seed, Ultra League lost their 3rd seed. It really felt like this was the Amazon European Masters for the non-accredited ERLs. But the only ERL that really didn't look shaky was the LFL. They only dropped 1 out of 12 games, and that was a very close one with very back and forth team fights. And it was Gameward losing the game to the White Dragons of the LP LOL. So it felt like everyone really had chances against the other accredited ERLs, but no one had really been able to show up against the LFL and really put them in their place. But Genk in this series are giving life, and it's incredible to see.
I'm gonna be completely honest here. The mid lane, it's not in control of Royal Canin. He's pretty far behind the top lane as well. So the top side of Gameward is winning. The next fights are still going to be very hard for Tiger to actually have an impact on. They need to fight hot and heavy. They need to fight very fast to use the culling for all of damage. But at the same time, if Genk drops out this series 0-2 after having these 2 performances, that's insane. I'm so proud. Like, this is the LFL 4th seed in a knockout game for the Amazon European Masters main stage, and they are showing up huge against them.
Needs to be careful. It's a 3v3, but I'm not sure Gameward are aware of that as they will look to try and dive onto Tiger. He gets knocked up by Kabane. Can't quite get onto him. The good blocks from Moops, but now the support will simply be focused down. Good trade back damage from the side of Tiger. Here comes Chocolate, and Tiger dashes into the dredge line. He's gone. That's 2 kills to Gameward, who answer back fiercely.
Gameward find the play in the top side. They find the play against the winning lane, and it's kind of sad for Genk because they were baiting Gameward out, but Gameward knew what was happening. This is what I mean with Genk is sometimes a bit predictable. They're sometimes a bit too telegraphed in their set plays. Gameward knew that there was going to be a 3v3. Gameward knew that the top side was going to be the focus after the Rift Herald almost got the bot tower, and that Genk was going to rotate to the top side, and they answer perfectly. This nets them the gold lead again in the early game. Now they're not so far ahead again that I get scared, but don't forget at 15 to 20 minutes is when Gameward starts to come online and they make the big plays happen.
The cannon looks for Chocolate, a good flash away here. And the dredge line connects. I did not expect that, honestly. Camillus with the max range hook and the ignite to secure the kill.
Whew. That's a sad one for the mid laner of Genk. Royal Canin with the shockwave, putting some pressure on Chocolate. But let's see how this fight went so bad for Genk. In the end, you have double CC layered on Tiger. Can't really do any basic attacks. Don't forget Lucian, very short range champion, so he's peeling back. But you can't peel back far enough. And at the same time, Chocolat just first on the roam on that Ahri. It's clear that Gameward wants to take Ahri away from Royal Canin, give it to Chocolat for some playmaking potential. It came in clutch the last game with that charm over the wall to end the game, and now it comes in clutch with the pressure in the mid lane against the Orianna pick. That is a bit of a weird one, and then the rotates to the top side. He has the pressure in the mid lane and uses it to collapse on the top side play, and that just spells doom for Genk. The answer for Genk, sadly, falls a bit short in the mid lane. It even gives another kill over to Gameward, and that will make sure that this dragon goes to Gameward, and that the early game, again, just like last game, is going in the favor of Gameward.
So the goal lead has swung from being even into big leads, especially in those side lanes, something you mentioned as well around 5 minutes ago. It was going good for the bot side of Genk, but in the top and the mid lane, they were still behind. Herald, though, will be the response from the side of Genk, so it's a 1-for-1 in the neutral objective game. As I can now ask you the question, where will Genk look to put this second Herald?
Second Herald will just be used to either funnel into Royal Canin to make sure he catches up a bit, or Tiger again if they really want to use him for the early game. But Tiger needs to be careful here. 4 people of Gameward answering, and Tiger tends to play really aggressively in these situations, and he's gonna get collapsed on.
Does have the flash, also has the Gale Force, so able to create a lot of space in a short amount of time if needed. Therefore, Gameward don't overextend, playing it safe, not wanting to throw the lead that they have now built up for themselves. But Robber will be able to get some gold here for the side of Genk with taking a bottom lane turret. I mean, Robber has done a fantastic job so far in the counter pick matchup. Yes, he's about 900 gold behind, but he's putting on a solid performance, and in these late game team fights, he will be a strong frontline.
As you can see by the gold graph, it's a pretty close game. They just now made sure that that huge spike that Gameward had is rectified by taking the tower as well in the bot side, by catching sideways. With Royal Canin on that job of catching, needs to be careful here.
Let's get CC'd up. Dredgeline as well has the flash, but he's trapped in the slicing maelstrom. Clean kill yet again from Gameward.
I'm kind of sad they banned the Leona over the Nautilus, because you can see that Camellias on the Nautilus has such an easy time to follow up with the Dredgelines, way bigger hitbox, so even if you're sidestepping and you still get stunned, it's hard to miss. And he's had a good impact on the champion. 4 kills of Gameward, he was present. At the same time, Genk does try to answer a little bit across the map. They still have the mid push and the bot push, but Gameward, they're not stopping there. They take the top tower down, and you see Melonic just running in to put more pressure down. Rift Herald is now used around Tiger again to try and put some dents into this tower, but look at the flank of Lee Sin.
Yeah, Akabane is in behind. Growth is already down to half flash forward from Camillus to try and start off the fight. They get onto Tiger, and he's rooted up for many seconds. As Chocolat in the backline will take down Growth. Now they continue forward against Genk. Inax trying to cut through the side of Robber, but that is a tanky train, and it's only one that's gone for Genk.
It's only one, but it's looking dire. You see that Tiger on this Lucian has a very bad time having the impact that he needs to have in those fights. There's so much CC that just basically outranges his kit. If you look at it, they play too aggressive around the Rift Herald in the mid lane. Gertas tries to get damage down, needs to instantly burn his flash on Camellias, and then Moops actually eats the Akabane ulti and stays alive for a bit too long, but it's not good enough. Tiger needs to dash out of the fight, Robba needs to ult out of the fight, and Exhaust is even used of his unsealed spellbook to keep him alive. So in the end, Genk don't lose too much, but again, they're on the back foot. And the problem I have with that is last game, they had 2 scaling members. They had a very good AD carry that would get online in the late game. They had a very good mid laner that just scales and scales and scales. Now they have more team fight, but they also have a little bit more of an early to mid game oriented comp. You have a Lucian Nami that really needs to get the ball rolling, and then Orianna is strong with the shockwave, but is only strong in such a way that you need to get good team fights off. You see a tower go without gold going to Tiger because Gameward, they're just taking control of the mid side. Look at where Akabane is again. They just go for the second fight here in the mid lane, but Robba, he's on the flank.
Yeah, he's on the flank, catching out Akabane. Able to get out for now. The Reploff not there to really seal the escape. Gameward might want to fight him. Melonic isn't there, but can TP into the ward. Robba, though, very tanky in the front, and it continues forward. Now the team comes through. Look out for the flank. Tiger already gone, and there's the slicing Maelstrom onto the 2 frontline members. Royal Canin TP's in, but to no avail. 3 kills, maybe even 4, as Akabane a bit too far forward here. He will fall in the end. You have to feel as the shutdown goes over to Robba, but another fight for Genk.
And I feel like Gameward downloaded just enough information to know how to completely play against Genk. They are known regionally as one of the smarter teams in the league. If you look at how much control they have on the bot side of the map, it's actually pretty insane to see how much wards they have. Look at the pink ward that's already down there in the jungle. And at that time, you have a completely lit up bot side of the map. It's like a Christmas tree over there. And Gameward just knows exactly what Genk can and can't do. The TP comes in for the flank, and it's so hard to play these fights for Tiger. I feel like the Lam Illusion didn't really get Genk what they wanted out of it, and in these fights it's so much harder with Illusion to actually have an impact. Yeah, you have some overextension happening at the end for Akabane, but look at how much vision they already had down here. Genk is just caught unaware of this, and they lose the fight pretty heftily.
And another Drake will be spawning in just 15 seconds. Dino Gameward have quietly picked up 2, so that's soul point for them. Just 20 minutes into the game. Look at Chocolate. What's he doing? Well, he's going for the flank. There's always someone from Gameward on a flank, and he has now been spotted. So let's see how much effectiveness we get out of this.
This is a bit dicey for Genk. This is really aggressive playing around this third dragon. You're so far behind at the moment, not only in tempo, but in how your champions scale. 4k gold behind, but they still want to make a fight for this dragon.
Oh, they are going for Chocolate. They CC him up, but he can simply dash over the wall and out to safety. But Quatas, there's no way that's safe for you. The Cyclone will not save you. As Akabane picks up the kill. The Drake still the target here for Gameward. They continue to dish out the damage on it. Take those, the rest of the damage is alive for now as Royal Cannon gets hit by the Dredge Line, forced to flash away. The damage on Chameleon is big, but he's not down yet. The heal saves him for now. The Drake, though, still alive, 2k HP. As Royal Cannon just
Shockwave misses.
The Shockwave goes wide completely. Chocolate, though, hit by the bubble. It should be taken down, flash away. Tiger alive, but dies. Traded 1-for-1. Now, though, Melodic on the flank with the slicing Maelstrom. There goes Royal Cannon, there goes Moves, and there goes Genk Robber, the last man alive. He might survive, but the Drake certainly falls for Gameward.
And it was just a bit too much, a bit too early in the game. You see that the mobility of Gameward is so strong against Oriana as well. This fight goes actually pretty well for Genk in the start. As you see, the culling is used to try to burst Chocolate, but the angle is a bit too awkward. And then Gertas walking up there is splitting attention too much on two fronts. You basically get burst without being able to do anything. At the same time, Royal Cannon tries to have the impact he needs, gets caught by the hook from Camilius, and then you see him walking up because he still has a shockwave. He's looking at Inax, but Inax with the Gale Force dodges the shockwave, and then this charm makes sure that even the follow-up on the bubble isn't there. And Chocolate on the Ahri, he's making sure that Genk's lives are miserable, that it's really hard to catch, and it gives Inax all the space he wants to actually dish out the damage on the Aphelios and never really be in trouble. This is breaking point for Genk. You are now so far behind, 6k gold, 3 dragons to 0. You have no control, and if you look at the gold leads, the Ahri, 18 stacks on a Magi's is already 2,800 gold up. I feel for my boys in blue, but I feel like this is where the actual series was decided.
The gold lead is big. You are sounding dire Dino, someone who I know to always be up on a good amount of hopium. It's not over, but it's very, very hard. Soul point, gold lead, scaling, everything looks to be in the pocket of Gameward. A massive team fight is what Genk need. There is shutdowns, there is gold to gain, maybe even a Baron afterwards if it's clean, but it's so hard, it's near impossible, you say, as we have to remember, all good stories must come to an end, and Genk might be hitting the end of the road here.
Still, they should, if they hit the end of the road here, they should hold their heads up high. I mean, it's a pretty rough second game because of risks you took in the draft, and I have the feeling that Genk, they really play their own style. They're not afraid to try to execute harder things against better teams or what should be better teams on paper. And it's still not over. I mean, yeah, you're far behind, but we saw Gameward struggle against Genk in the mid to late game last game. Now, the problem here is you don't have that Azir to fall back on. You don't have that Zeri to fall back on. It's more upon getting that burst really quickly on one of the members of Gameward. But you see that Gameward is never grouping in such a way that it becomes an issue.
But there's one positive light, though. I will say that Robber, he has had a very good game on the side. He's been able to zone out Melonic, in particular, in the last fight for around 20 seconds or so, and he will just continue to become tankier and tankier. And while it looks hard, after the game one Dino, I just simply can't give up. Genk were able to do it last time. What's stopping them this time might be a different draft style, a different play style, different late game strengths, but saw them do it in game 1. Can they pull themselves back, keep their heads up high, and continue fighting until their Nexus falls?
I hope for them they do, and they took a big risk trying to play early game so aggressive with the Nami Lucian, because don't forget Gameward, yeah, they were 4th seed in the LFL, they lost to their curse. Again, Vitality B always knocks them out of the important playoffs, and this is the first time they...
Melonic!
Wow.
He comes in with the slicing maelstrom, finds both the carries, and instantly evaporates them both off the map moves. And Guertas are simply the survivors of what was a brutal fight there, all decided by Melonic.
Are they survivors, or did Gameward just not want to go for the dive and make sure that they go into the EU Masters main stage very comfortably? They're looking at the Baron. Genk is actually trying to contest this. That's a bit of a risky play, even though the Slicing Maelstrom is on cooldown.
And even get in the pit before it's gone. Guertas down to 20% moves. Has to flash over, but it's not off cooldown, and that means Genk will get cleaned up. 2 more kills. Robber, can you survive yet another time? Yes, he's a bit too tanky for one man to take down all by his lonesome. 11k gold now. Dino.
Yeah, it's looking bad. I mean, this play from Melonic is just great. The flank, Incredible. He found the angle. There was no vision there for Genk to contest this flank, actually. And then he just instantly bursts the 2 carries you have. And in stark contrast to the last game, those 2 carries are already really far behind. Last game, even though we had a gold lead for Gameward, the lead was in such a way that the carries of Genk were actually keeping pace. Now they're really far behind, and they're just falling further and further behind. And this contest, it's a bit ambitious. I mean, the Baron does do damage, but it's a 5v3. You're trying to look at a Desperation Smite steal here from Guertas, but you won't find it.
Rubber, no pain train, so should go down. You have to feel, but no. I mean, this man, he just refuses to die. It's incredible. As he does connect one with the Decimating Smash, but hooked up yet again. This time Inex will be able to put more damage into the backs of Rubber. And that's the soul. It's spawning. It could be taken within a matter of seconds, so Robber can't get back. He has changed to the smite, by the way, as Chocolat. Yeah,
he just found Guertas on the flank. He just found the enemy jungler. That should be soul for Gameward. If you look at the vision control of Gameward in this bottom side as well, like Genk only now realizes that there's a lot of wards there, a lot of control wards, and when they clear one, Camillus just put the next one. And Gameward, they're just going to use the Baron buff to push more towers in to get more gold, and then they will peel back to the dragon or even kill Robba here because he's solo HP.
25 stacks as well on a mid guys that Chocolat has bought. Tiger 0 manas, even though they go for this. What can they really get? As I say that, no! It's the 1k shutdown and moves.
Oh, it's the 1k shutdown going to Moops on the extra damage. He does do the emote spam afterwards. They do kill Ahri. I mean, the kill is a kill. We'll take whatever we can get at this point in the game. But you would have loved to see that gold go to the Lucian.
Shockwave could be available. Knock up onto one only. Camillus is the target. The Cyclone is spinning. The Slicing Maelstrom has already come out, but it's not as good this time around. Cannon, he looks for the flank. Look for the Shockwave. It's into 3, but it's not onto Inex. The damage stuff from Tiger is there to get 1. Inex, though, still alive, and the Infernum is shredding through him. He's got to. He will need to get them all as he goes gold with the stopwatch. It's a triple kill, but now he'll look to make it more. He'll get the Quadra, but there's no Panther today. And Genk somehow fight back.
Inex gets the quadra kill, but Genk is fighting back with the power of desperation. Look at this gold lead. They're so far behind still, even though they cash in on the shutdowns. And it's a beautiful moment for Genk where they just they keep searching for answers. They never really give in. They never really budge. And they know they have a lot in the tank in regards to ultis. They collapse on Gameward being out of position, and with the Ahri dead, they actually have a 4v5. But look at Tiger. He almost has nothing in the tank. So you need a really big shockwave here. You kind of find it, but then Akabane goes on to Tiger. Camillus with the dredge line finds the second route. Tiger just can't play the flipping game. He can't even basic attack on an AD carry. And then Kanan is forced to flash over the wall to try to salvage the play. And once he goes for Inex and the stopwatch is so huge. Look at the damage of this Q, by the way, from Melonic. That guy is also online, and it just becomes a really sloppy fight in the end. They do win, but they lose the soul.
So that's the soul gone. They are still 11k gold behind. Now against an Ocean Soul as well. I mean, Silver Lion, Chocolate now only has 15 stacks in the mid guys.
Oh, okay, yeah. We take those. He's almost full build, but his mid stacks are gone.
Yeah, and there are 2.5 items on Royal Cannon, so he's halfway there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Declan. I'm already like this for us. Going to knockouts was already the victory lap. And what Genk did was just they played with my heart. They gave me a lot of hope in the first game, but now Gameward, they're just angry. They didn't like what Genk did in the first game. They didn't like that it became so close, and they're really dominating this game. The moment where Gameward comes online is between 15 and 25 minutes, and you saw the way they did it. Yeah. It's an 11k goal deficit for Genk. Tiger's getting collapsed on.
Oh, he almost gets one shot by the carry! An axe! He's dead! He's gone! But Melanic, we know he still has a lot of damage, and he deletes Royal Cannon! And that's Squirtus who now has to do the damage as Tiger is zoned out the fight. Robert, you're tanky, but you will surely fall after enough time. As Chocolate will dash forward towards your bot lane. He will 1v2 them if he really feels like it. Tiger, you can try for the outplay, but what can you really do against Gameward?
Not much anymore, I'm afraid. Roba is still alive, by the way. He just now got out of his zombie form. I think Gameward should have enough time to finish the game here. The fight looked so good at the start for Genk. They actually instantly burst in, but it's a triple threat composition. Chocolate was already seven kills up. You have Melanic going on the back line with his cannon, and even though Genk, they fought bravely and they fought hard, it looks like Gameward are going to make the clear things happen, are going to make the logical things happen, and are going to put themselves into the European Master main stage. Now, we saw the last fight, it's not over yet, and as long as you don't delete the Nexus out of the game, Genk still has a chance.
Whereas this very much could have been the fight we saw in game number 1 that turned it around, but they find the AD carry. You said it, it's a triple threat comp. Look at Royal Cannon. He's gone. He's just evaporated. He just melts his insanity, really. And Chocolate, yet again, his RA performance is incredible. Look at how he zones away Tiger here. Guetzes and Robber are in here, trying to dish out some damage, soak up damage as well from the side of Gameward, but Tiger can't do any damage. He's too far away, and Chocolate, he just goes in, has a bit of fun here, takes down moves. Now they'll do Baron?
Yeah, okay, Genk knows his desperation o'clock. They're just doing the Baron and hope that they can win the fight or take the Baron for free, but man, oh man, there is no bigger risk to take that you can take in a game like this. Your mid and bot waves are getting pushed in, so the two waves away from the Baron are getting pushed in. You're just trying to make Gameward react to the plays, but Gameward, they don't budge. They're cool, calm, and collected. They just force you away from the Baron, and then they will look to end this game pretty quickly.
They just take it themselves now, right? They can go for the Baron.
Yeah, they can just take it.
They are on it. Inex is taking it.
Oh, Chocolate, what are you doing?
1v4 needs to be careful here. Don't be overconfident, buddy, as he is able to dash away. I mean, that's the strength of Ari, right? You just dash 3 times, so that's the flash.
Yeah, Garrett does
more than half the HP of... Wait.
Walk away, buddy. Walk away. You don't want anything in that fight. Chocolate's full build. He's just waiting on 2 stacks on his Magi's, and then he has the most AP he could muster. And I think this is all she wrote for Genk. I'm hoping for the miracle play. I'm manifesting as hard as I can. Genk, maybe you can make an actual miracle happen here in the base, and it will be on the back of Roba's ulti.
Robba, here comes the pain train. Will not actually find Inex yet again, but Guerta certainly will. But look at what's happening in the base. It's 2 men of Gameward who want to assure that the LFL sits atop the European throne. They will be the 3rd seed to make it into the main event. You have to feel the desperation was there for Genk. Try as they might, but nothing can really stop the LFL, can they? As Gameward will have fun in the base, will get the A's, and will get that ticket to the Amazon European Masters main event.
And what a stark difference for Gameward between the first and the second game. Maybe they underestimated Genk a little bit in the last game, but now they came out to play and they